not super cold, but it's pretty damn cold out. Hey, what's up, chat? Fuck. Let's get out of here. It's 31 degrees out. It's weird. $31. It's crazy. On the East Coast. Today, I don't have to stop for anything. I can just go. You know? Fucking cold. Already got my Ghost Energy drink. Cherry Light, of course. Mm-hmm. I got 2 packs of cigarettes. Where the hell are those kids going? It's 5:30 in the morning. Weird. I got my cigarettes, which I'm going to light up right now. As soon as this car gets a little warmer, I'm going to crack open the... God damn it. That Ghost Energy drink. No, that wasn't good. Why did I do that? Fucking idiot. I'm tired. Why would I do that? That was so dumb. I got the fan cranked up to 3. It could go up to 4 if you wanted to. But according to the manual, you don't need to crank it up to 3. Oh, shit. Nice. There. Hey, Buff, how are you? Buff, it's 30 fucking degrees out, man. On the East Coast. I don't know what that was. So, Buff, normally what they do over there is there's like a beef or something, and they let you go up, and you could scream at each other, blah, 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 and then, like, the show ends, you know? But that faggot Grizz, man, I'm telling you. Oh, shit. No way. No way. Wow, dude, my windows are frozen shut. That's wild. What am I going to do? Don Casanova. Don Casanova, you fucking scumbag. Don Casanova. I made a video about you, but I didn't release it yet. Yep. I'm 100% American, dude. 100% born and bred. Yep. So normally, Buff, that's what happens. Don, the scumbag, Casanova. Holy shit, why is this thing frozen? Don Casanova. Don Casanova. You scumbag. 100% American. Yes, of course. You are, Buff. You are. In the day. I don't know what that means. You know what I was into in the day? Michael Jackson, Thriller. Beat it. Actually, Thriller. Beat it. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Van Halen's Jump. Etc. You got a problem with that? Don Casanova. You scumbag. What tribe do you belong to? The American one, the United States? The United States of America tribe? The New Jersey tribe? Oh, nice. Wow, that fucking window is frozen. Finally busted open. Damn. I don't care what you've seen. I don't care what you've seen, Don Casanova. I could give two shits. And you probably saw the Gay Misfits. Yeah. Bunch of old men. A bunch of old men. A couple and a fire hydrant on stage. Yep. Don Casanova. Oh. Don Casanova. Don Casanova. Sorry, Don. There's usually one person that I'm like, oh my, I gotta go, make a big deal about it. I had no clue what was going on. That hug it. Listen, again, Buff. I'm telling you, it wasn't always like that. I promise you, it wasn't always like that. I'm telling you, it wasn't. Oh shit! Let's crack open my. You know who? You know who I played with once? I don't know if you know this band. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you. You know, every single time I talk about this, they start bothering these people. So. But normally, Buff Carrot, it's never like that. It's never like that. Don Casanova, let me ask you a question. Are you from the Slingshot Warrior community? Is that what you're doing over here? Is that what you're doing? I don't need it. If Justin Charles sent you over here, you can get out of here now. If Justin Charles sent you over here, you can leave. I don't need anything, any kind of bullshit, crappy statistics that you put out. Again, 2018, there was a mass shooting in Australia. From 1996 and on, there's been mass killings in Australia, either with cars, fires, knives, I think baseball bats, and guns since 1996. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Don Casanova. Oh, okay. Answer. No, sorry, Don Casanova. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna turn you into an enemy. Like, I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, you know what I mean? You'll see, Don Casanova. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, but I just, what I do, Don Casanova, is I turn it into one. You know what I mean? Yes, there was in 2018. Dude, go to my communities tab and go check it out. There was definitely a mass shooting in 2018. I think 7 people died. And you gotta remember, Australia, most of Australia is like underdeveloped. In fact, if I was going to describe Australia, either developed or underdeveloped, it's very underdeveloped. Very underdeveloped. And there's not too many people there. There's more people living in New Jersey than there is fucking Australia, which is bizarre. Very, very low population. Very low population. No, shooting in Australia. Go check it out. 2018, I just posted it. I posted it yesterday. It's in the community section. That's why when people say this stuff, it's not that they're lying to you, they're conveniently leaving out a lot of stuff. And like, for instance, people still have guns in Australia. As far as mass shootings go, there was one in 2018. And a guy killed, I think, 6 people plus himself. And it was targeted. Yeah. Yeah, maybe in the Pacific, but not in the world. China did. So again, that's another falsehood that you've been giving out. I mean, I have no problem with lying. You know what I mean? Like, you can lie all you want. Just that, you know. Yeah, I have a license too, and every single time I buy a gun, I have to get a background check. It's the same here. I don't know if you know that. Hey, Lydia, what's up? You have a thing called NICS, and when you purchase a gun, you have to get a NICS check. A NICS check is basically, they're calling up a federal agency, and they're saying, hey, there's this guy. You give them a social security number, your name. Is he a felon? Has he been to a mental institute? Blah blah blah. And if you pass, they sell you the gun. See, there's a lot of there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of maybe not misinformation, but lack of information given to you on purpose. And like people like Matthew Potts, people like Fat Magda, they continue to spew this stuff, and people believe it. This is no one fact checks it, you know. Nobody fact checks it. It's like a driver's license. So they give you a driver's license based on the fact that, you know, you aren't a drunk driver. You know, you haven't murdered anyone, you haven't raped anyone, you don't owe any money to your spouse. But things can happen along the way. You know? In fact, everybody, or everyone who's issued a driver's license, 100% of people who commit DWIs were issued driver's license by the state and cleared by the state to get driver's license. You know what I mean? So well, so for instance, in Florida, you can't own a driver's license if you're a felon or whatever. So if you need a driver's license to buy a fucking gun, then you know you're not a felon. So this is the thing. The girl who when you talk about background checks, the girl or the man or whatever who bought that gun, if she did buy a gun, right, legally, I guarantee you, she didn't commit any crimes. Guaranteed. That's why background checks, I don't really believe they work. I know this, that when I was selling guns in New York, and this is the thing, Don Casanova, I used to sell guns. When I was selling guns in New York, what you needed was a driver's license to buy a long gun. A long gun being any rifle. To buy a pistol, you need a pistol permit, and what that is basically you just pick a gun, they put it on your permit, and it actually goes onto your card. New Jersey's totally different, but if you're to buy a rifle, let's say in New York, right? You show me your driver's license, and your driver's license doesn't tell me anything. Okay, your driver's license doesn't say whatever; it just says that you're a resident. If you buy one and you're not supposed to be buying one, that's against the law. You committed a felony, or I don't know what the hell they call it. I haven't done this since 2006. And again, the laws have changed since 2006. But I'm just saying, the other thing is I can't stop you from privately selling a firearm. You know? So if I was to buy a firearm, right, and you wanted to buy it from me, I could basically go out into a parking lot, sell it to you, have the paperwork saying that you sold it to me. It's a private sale, blah, blah, blah. And, 20 years later, I get a knock on the door from the police saying, hey, listen, why was your gun involved in a crime? It's like, oh, that's not my gun. I sold it like 20 years ago. I sold it to this person. You know, it's like anything else. There's private sales in this country. Most of these guns that are used in crimes, not like, are stolen. No. Yeah, in New York you can, New Jersey you can, all over the country you can. But you have to pass a background check. And again, if you've never committed a crime, then they're not going to restrict you from it. So again, it's like getting a driver's license. The only difference between a driver's license and firearms license or purchasing permit is that you don't have a right to drive. You have a right to own a firearm. Wishbone totally destroyed that bush yesterday. Yep. Shoot it apart. Now, I remember back in 2006, Don, when, like, if you wanted a permit to carry in basically, I think it was like 35 states or something like that, you had to go through Virginia. And what Virginia did was Virginia was offering citizens of the United States, and I think Maine was one of them, but they were recognized in 35 states. So you go to Virginia, you'd contact the local sheriff or whatever, and say, I want a carry permit and whatever. You send them the fucking money. They do a background check on you. They issue the carry permit, and now you can carry in 35 states through the state of Virginia. You don't even have to live there. That's how it was in like 2000. I want to say like 2003. I don't know if they still do that. Now, no state can restrict you from carrying a firearm. All you got to do is go to your local police department, apply for it, and they have to give it to you. So right now I'm carrying a gun because I'm legally allowed to. I can't carry it into a federal building there's like restrictions. But right now, I'm legally allowed to carry a gun. And I carry a gun everywhere. Everywhere. I carry a gun when I drive. There's always a gun behind me when I live stream, etc. Well, yeah, that's why we carry a gun, because there's a lot of criminals out there that steal guns and kill people. And there's a lot of criminals out there that buy illegal guns and kill people. That's why we carry guns. You got to remember, Don Casanova, our country is a lot bigger than yours. And we have a lot more blacks and Arabs in our country. Unlike your racist country, there's very few. We even had a black president. I don't know if you know that, Don Casanova. I don't know when the last time you guys had one, but probably never. And I want to point out that gun crimes in the UK are on a rise 300%. 300% on the rise in the UK. And they have some of the most strictest gun laws ever. I just did a whole live stream on it about last year. Gun crimes have risen in the UK more than the United States, more than I believe Mexico, etc. Even Canada. Canada is like fucking humongous. Oh, really? Where did you go, Don Casanova? Yeah, yep, northern Mexico. So Mexico is one of those countries that you never hear about, right? A lot of the guns in Mexico, again, they are purchased legally. 300%, and that was I think 2021, 2022. 300% on the rise. That's crazy. I mean, all you got to do is just look into this stuff for about like 15 minutes, and you start realizing that, holy shit! Like the last school shooting to take place was actually in Brazil. It happened, I think, like 2 or 3 days ago. It was after this one in the United States. Like there's school shootings all over the world. People don't ever. We get the most attention for it. We bring attention to it. The thing is, if you go to the YNC, you see shit like this all the time. And these are new videos, and they're very rarely from the United States. People going into nightclubs, into fucking restaurants, and just blowing people away. Oh, really? How did you like Texas? That's one place I would go, is to Texas, just once. My favorite my favorite place to visit is Tennessee. Tennessee's my favorite. Uh, yes, thank you, Chad. There's a lot of things you have to be worried about in life. Like, am I gonna get hooked on drugs? Am I gonna get in a car accident? Do I need insurance? Blah blah blah. But you know, the reason why we have insurance just in case something happens. You know, let's say we do get sick or we get hurt, whatever. We have insurance to make sure that we get the best health coverage. If you don't have insurance, you'll still get health coverage in the United States. That's another misconception that people put out there. For instance, Johnny he doesn't have health insurance. He just got a major operation. You know how much he paid? Zero. Um, but when you have insurance, you get to see multiple doctors, um, whatever doctor you want to see, and you can see the best. You know, so we have a lot of specialists here. Especially, it's a big country. So, for instance, if the best surgeon's in New York, I can go to New York and say, listen, I got this problem. Can you look at it? And be like, yeah, we can do this, this, this. And I've done it multiple times, and this is usually the outcome. If I go to one of these doctors that they're going to give me for free, they're going to be like, we don't really know much about this. Never really done this surgery before, but we're going to try it. You don't want to do that. insurance is something that, I don't know why it doesn't exist in every country. But I know this when I worked with this Costa Rican dude. He told me that his daughter got sick. His daughter got like her appendix burst, something like that, and he went to the hospital. They treated her, and then she had to wait, like I think like something like 3 months to see the next doctor. And she was a young girl, and he paid extra to go to like the front of the line so that she can get seen that month. I was like, well, what's the difference? I mean, that's like kind of like having insurance. Maybe they can do that here. I don't know. But with insurance, again, it's like boom. And plus, with insurance, you get cosmetic stuff, whatever you want. I remember when I had my root canal, right? Insurance covered that. When I was unemployed I think I had Cobra. Or you had to sign up for Cobra. I forgot what it was. I got unemployment, and I was like, oh shit, like I got to get this tooth checked out. I cracked the crown, and they were like, well, when you had insurance, I'm like, but I have insurance through Cobra. They're like, yeah, but that's not real insurance. That's like some bullshit. And they're like, it doesn't cover this. I'm like, why? They're like, it's considered cosmetic. I'm like, what? They're like, we'll pull it out for you, but we're not gonna fix it. We're not gonna get paid for it. Yeah, Don, I plan on traveling there at least once. But again, Tennessee. The next time you come here, Don, go to Tennessee. Go to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg. You'll have a great time. Bobby, have you ever been abroad? So no, but I'm gonna tell you why. All right. I don't trust. Like I live around, obviously in the New York City area. I don't even trust the cops here. You know what I mean? There's no way I'm gonna go to another country and trust the cops there. I don't speak their language or fucking whatever. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. I mean, I could live in another country. I can get citizenship just like that right now, but I refuse to do it. As an American, I don't understand why you would travel. There's really no need. I never understood that. If you live in Europe, I get it. All right, so you live in Europe, you can get on a fucking plane, a train, or whatever, depending on where you live, for like maybe a couple $100 and go to a completely different country. In the United States, to do that, you got to spend at least like 10 grand to go to like fucking Italy or go to Germany or go to any of these places. It's going to cost you about 10 grand. I had a friend, Tomas, right? And he would tell me, oh, I would go to Mallorca every fucking like other weekend. What? Like Mallorca? It's like, yeah, me and my buddies used to hop on this propeller plane, and it would take us out there for like $125. We'd be there in a couple hours. It's like going to Florida for that, but they're in Mallorca. Like, we can't do that. Yeah, Memphis. I have no desire to go to Memphis. Not Nashville. So maybe Nashville, maybe. But when you go Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, I'm telling you, you'll have a really good time. You can do whatever you want there, like whatever you want. Shoot machine guns, whatever you want to do. Get in a monster truck. You can go paragliding or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. I shit, I'm going the wrong way. Fuck. Sorry, guys. Wait, no, did I? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. I went the wrong way. Fuck. I forgot. I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. I thought I was going somewhere else. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so again, and you got to remember that here, I don't think I really need to see anything like that. I don't know. I never had a desire to go see the Colosseum or the Eiffel Tower or any of that crap. You know. I mean, you got to remember, I live here. I don't know. Maybe when I'm older. I mean, seeing a different part of the world, like why not go? You know, I had a friend that went to Vietnam, right? Like after high school, they went out there, and he's like, dude, he's like, we ate every day for 10 cents. Like, really? Every day. I'm gonna try to make this U-turn. I know you're not allowed to, but we're gonna do it. Well, I see the world every day. This is the thing. Like, there was this Turkish guy that I knew, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you travel?" I'm like, first of all, you need money to do that, right? But second of all, living in the United States, I don't think you have to. And he goes, "Oh no, it's bullshit." Blah blah. Everybody needs to travel. I was like, well, the reason why I don't think that's true, okay, is because if I need to know anything about Turkey, right? If I need to know anything about Turkey, I can just ask this guy. This guy's lived there. I can get Turkish food from real Turkish people. Again, we have a Turkish community here. I don't need to see Turkey. I don't need to smell Turkey. You know what I mean? Same thing with any nationality here. Everybody's here. Everybody. And you know what's crazy? A lot of the people that are here from different countries, they have nothing good to say about their country. You know what I mean? And the other thing is, like, are you really experiencing um, that country when you go there? I mean, a lot of people just like, for instance, Mexico. You go to a fucking resort and people come back and they're like, "Oh, Mexico's great." It's like, really? You went to a fucking resort. You have no clue. I had a friend that made fun of me for not wanting to go to Mexico. There was a wedding going on. They're like, "Oh, come to this wedding, whatever. We're gonna have a good time." I was like, "No, I'm not going to fucking Mexico." So what happens is that she comes back, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how was it? How did you and your husband like it? Blah blah blah." She's like, "I ended up in the hospital." Really? How? What happened? Did you fall? She's like, "No, someone put an ice cube in my drink. An ice cube." A fucking ice cube. That's what almost ended her life. Was a fucking Mexican ice cube. Okay? How does it broaden the mind? How does that interaction or experience broaden your mind? You never want to go back there? And again, when people travel, again, they're traveling to like nice places. You're not experiencing anything of that country. You're not experiencing anything like that. Hey, Krista, how are you? Oh, don't go to any resorts. Really? Yeah. See, I wouldn't risk that, Don. I believe you, Don. I believe that you did do that. I know people like you. You know, I don't think I'd ever do that. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. We just recently had a couple of Americans here do that, and they got kidnapped and murdered. And there's two other Americans right now in, I think, Haiti or something, or I forget where the fuck they went on vacation, and they're also kidnapped. They don't know what happened to them. That's just me. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do. It's a big world. Do whatever you want. But me, no. And there's reasons why. I just, as an American, I don't feel the need to, because everything's here. Why do I want to go see a shitty fucking pyramid when we got the biggest fucking buildings in the world? You know, the biggest city in the world. I mean, if someone told me, yeah, you want to go to this country, right? You can go shoot machine guns off the top of this pyramid while smoking weed on a hand glider. Like, yeah, maybe. And they all speak English there. Yep. I'd be like, okay. Lots of memories. Maybe. Again, I have tons of memories not doing that. You know, I'm not interested in the pyramid. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not interested in pyramids. I'm not interested in eating dirty food or drinking dirty water. You know what I mean? That's why I'll never travel to Flint, Michigan. But for some strange reason, people travel to Mexico, land of dirty water, country of dirty water, and everybody's like, "Oh, it was great. Just don't drink the water." Can you imagine that? So whatever you do, don't drink the water over there. It's so beautiful. Just don't drink the water. Yeah, well, Dorian, seriously, like, what? I mean, I don't fucking care about no goddamn pyramids. Like, do they exist? All right, fine, they exist. Oh wow, I saw them. Great. Let me spend 10 grand to go look at some fucking structure that's just laying there in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Yeah, let me go look at the remnants of a dead civilization. Yeah, and let me see what do you get out of that? I don't know what you get out of that. You know, the civilization was so goddamn bad it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, a failed civilization. All right, I'm interested in that. No, and if I was interested in it, I'd read a goddamn book or watch a goddamn video or maybe take a couple classes on it. You know, I don't have to go. I don't. Again, I don't have to risk. I don't have to risk my fucking health to go look at something that's dead. It just. I think a lot of you people who travel just travel so you can say that you were there. You can tell all your friends, yeah, I was there. It's like, oh, really? Wow. Wow. Did you get sick? I had a friend that went to Africa, right? He goes to Africa. His father-in-law is this like rich fucking like whatever, and he goes on these like hunting things in Africa. So he's telling me, he's like, yeah, me and my wife went out there with him. It was beautiful, blah blah blah. But you can't even shower there. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you know how you can't drink water in Mexico? Well, the one thing they don't tell you is that the water has to be filtered for you to take a shower. So he goes, you have to actually get water that's transported there so you can shower. They don't want you showering with the water that's there, right? And you have to make sure that you're totally clean. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, when I came back, I had this bite, and I didn't know what it was. He goes, I broke out in like 103 fever on the plane. I got bit by an insect. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. I'm like, was it like dengue fever? Dengue fever? Like what the fuck? Like, you might as well. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break, Don Casanova. Well, what? Let me ask you a question. What good did that do them, Don Casanova? They no longer exist. What good did that do them? They were so advanced, right? That's like when people talk about these fucking natives that were here before, right? I had this channel, Don, where I was a survivalist, right? And I would tell everybody every episode, whatever you do not do what the Indians did, because the Indians lost everything. They're stupid, They're not survivors. I mean, come on. Were the Spanish a superior race than the Aztecs, who had everything? I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but Columbus, when he came to the United States, he knew about astronomy. He knew on this day, at this time, that there would be an eclipse and the moon would turn red and blah, blah, blah. So he told these people that he wanted some of their food. He needed to feed his fucking crew. And they said, we're not going to give it to you. And he goes, well, if you don't, the gods are going to be really angry at you. And they go, what do you mean? Well, if you don't, the gods are going to turn the moon red, and the gods are going to be very angry at you. And ipso facto, that night, the moon turned red, and guess what they did? They gave all their foods and riches to Columbus. Come on. Stupid. These are stupid people. They had no business running an economy or running a country or a civilization. They're getting outwitted by some fucking Guinea on a friggin' Spanish fucking boat. Give me a break. I'm telling me these people built pyramids. Don Casanova. Come on, Don Casanova. Give me a break. Oh my God. Boomstick. Buff, I don't know. They did a lot of stupid shit, the Indians. They did a lot of stupid shit. one of and there was. You also got to remember that during the hold on for a second, let me get this ticket. When Rome was bringing Christianity to Europe, they had to go to these islands. All right, they had to send these fucking these priests out to these islands, and every single time they would go there, they would end up dead. The natives on these islands would kill them, and the islands being Scotland, England, and fucking and Ireland. And the Romans were like, all right, listen, go there, tell them that their gods are cool, right? But they just don't understand something, that you've discovered something new, and it's the God that created all those gods, all right? And do some magic tricks for them and show them. So they sent these fucking magicians, over to fucking Scotland, England, and fucking Ireland, and got them all to believe in Jesus Christ. That's stupid. Those are stupid people. And now look at them today. Because that happened, they are the greatest contributors, some of the greatest contributors to the rest of the world. Think about it. They're part of a system now. And again, without those fucking nasty people, these savages that were living on these islands, the rest of the world would not be educated today. With colonization came education. That's one thing that they never bring up when they talk about colonization. Do you realize that the fucking British brought fucking education to all these colonized fucking countries or whatever that they went to? They brought innovation and technology and also education. Plumbing. I used to think, back in the day, I used to think, wow, that's pretty bad. But now that I look at it now, I'm like, wait, whoa. The British fucking, when they went there, right? These governors that they sent to fucking India, you know what they did? You know what they said? They said, hey, listen, King Douchebag, these people are fucking stupid. Okay? These people are absolutely fucking dumb. All right? They're shitting on the beach. All right? They shit where they eat. King such and such. And it's really, governor. Well, what do you think we should do? Let's open a university. Let's open a university in India so we can educate these fucking idiots. And guess what? Some of the most intelligent people today hail from India. Think about that. Okay? And it all started because the Romans tricked these fucking savages on these islands one day into believing something. Think about that. Guys, people can learn anything. Yeah, Buff. There's a lot of the history in the United States about the Scottish coming to this country. It's funny as hell because the Scottish that came here, the whatever, they came here to get away because I think the the English at the time, the British, were forcing them to interact with the Irish. I think there was, whatever, and they didn't like it. So they're like, fuck this, like we're going to America. They settle in America. They became farmers, whatever, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, the Irish people started showing up. You know what they did? You know what these Scottish people did? They said, "Fuck it, we're gonna go. We're gonna get the fuck out of here." So they left New York and they went to the Appalachians. They populated the Appalachian Mountains. That's why we have all these hillbillies. I don't know if you know that. A lot of people have Scottish in them, especially in the United States. Mm. But think about that. Think about the pros of colonization. And if you didn't colonize these parts of the world, what would it be like today? Think about it. Think about the rest of the world that wasn't colonized. There was no colonization whatsoever. Those people are living in the Stone Ages. Hitler had a plan for parts of Eastern Europe that he thought were very undesirable, and he thought, these people are they're terrible people. You know what Hitler was going to do? Hitler was going to cut them off from any kind of colonization whatsoever. They said it's no man's land. And by doing that, Hitler knew if he did that, if he restricted anyone from entering that area, these people can live there, blah, blah, blah. They can do whatever the fuck they want, but they will not get help from Germany. They will not get help from the rest of the world. And by that, they would not get education. They would not get blah, blah, blah. They were going to be thrown into the Dark Ages. The Slavs, the Slavs were going to be left alone. I don't know if you know that. That was one of Hitler's plans. They were going to dam up the Mediterranean. They were going to turn Africa and Europe into one fucking continent. Okay. They were going to turn Africa into a mecca of fucking farming and agriculture. There was going to be parts of with industry, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's an amazing idea, especially back for like in the 30s. Germany and Italy were going to colonize all of fucking Africa, all of it. They were going to turn it into they were going to turn it into universities, agriculture, farming, industry. And they didn't. Now look at Africa. Africa is the way it is now because it wasn't colonized. Look at Rhodesia or Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was one of the greatest economic powers at the time. The economy was booming over there, booming. And someone came along and said, "That's not fair. That's not fair." Now look at Zimbabwe, the murder and rape capital of the world. Very little education. Well, I'm trying to say that didn't stay colonized. And if you look at these countries that didn't stay colonized, all right, they turn back into third world countries. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have a colonization, when you colonize something, you need something to back it up. So if let's say you do build schools and whatever, if there's no money going in there, like for like Britain, for instance, there was money going into India, and it wasn't Indian money; it was British money. And they turned a slum into a fucking paradise. Now look at it. Again, these people that are demanding that billionaires pay their fair share, that's kind of like colonization. They need the billionaires' money to fucking build a paradise. You're not gonna look at Portland. Portland is what happens when there is no billionaire paying for the paradise. That's all I'm getting at. And again, with colonization, all right, with colonization comes education, comes industry, comes agriculture, all this stuff that people want. All right. And depending on who's doing it, I'm going to be honest, the rest of the world was very lucky that it was the British that did that. Very, very lucky. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if it was like Libya? Oh man, Buff. Portland is bad. Portland is bad. That's true, Dimitri. That's true. Very true. Buff, I don't know if you see me when I drive through Manhattan, right? Every inch of Portland, every inch of Portland is taken by homeless people. Mm, mm. I don't think that's true. I don't think the British were the bloody. This is another lie by Don Casanova. Okay, this is another lie. The Mongolians were the worst. No one ever points that out. You think that the British Empire was worse than the fucking Mongolians? What are you, crazy? You think Genghis Khan was building fucking universities for these people? He was taking them as fucking sex slaves, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god. Don, Don, come on. I don't know who's telling you this shit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me ask you a question. How many universities, right? How many universities did fucking Genghis Khan build for his sex slaves? The sex slave university. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Don, all I'm saying is that I understand what you're saying, okay? I get it. But people are conveniently leaving shit out. Conveniently leaving shit out. Do I think it's fair that people go in to other countries and take their resources? No, no. I believe that certain people, again, for instance, do you think it's? I don't think it's fair that the English or the British have to give their tax dollars to Arabs or blacks. It's a white country. Think about it. What other country is doing that, Don Casanova? In the United States isn't considered a white country. It's the country of the world. Like everybody can come here, right? But I'm sorry, England is a white country. And the reason why anyone would want to move to England is because it's nice. You know who made it nice? White people. Not the Arabs, not the Asians, white people. The reason why you have technology, the reason why you have whatever you have over there today that people want from all over the world, all right, is because of white people. I'm sorry. People of color had no fucking did nothing for that country. Do you think that Russia is doing what Russia is doing in Ukraine is worse than the invasion of Iraq? No, I've said this over and over again. All right. I had this conversation the other night. I don't know why people don't understand why. First of all, people don't understand why Russia's there. They don't get it. They just think that Putin's picking on a country, blah, blah, blah. 1989, the Berlin Wall comes down, right? The reason why it came down is the Soviet Union at the time went to NATO and said, listen, there's going to be a problem. We got no more money. All right. We're just letting you know. And we don't want a war. We're going to change guards. We're going to, whatever. We want to peacefully do this. But we do not, if you guys invade us, there's going to be a problem. We're going to go nuclear. All right. NATO said to them, don't worry about it. Do what you got to do. All right. You can break up these small little satellite countries. All right. Do whatever you got to do. All we want, okay, is Eastern Germany. We want to unify Germany. The Soviets said, okay, deal. NATO said, if you need our help, we're here. All right. Soviets said, no, we'll take care of it. Every year after that, NATO encroached or came closer to Russia, taking every country because the Russians couldn't support these satellite countries anymore. These Eastern European countries. And these Eastern European countries were fucking, people were starving there. There was no money. And they went to NATO. And they became part of NATO. And eventually, it went all the way to Ukraine. And now the Russians are like, whoa, 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 whoa. We got fucking NATO tanks, NATO fucking fighter jets, NATO missiles, NATO whatever, right at our fucking border. 30 years ago, these people were fucking arming up to fucking destroy Moscow. I totally get it. I wouldn't want Al Qaeda parked outside in Mexico or Canada. So we'd have a big fucking problem with that. Or the Russians, for instance. And you guys got to remember this. There was a war going on there before the Russians even got there. Everyone forgets about that. There was a civil war there. What was the civil war over? NATO. One of the most corrupt countries in the world, Ukraine. Ukraine accepted $1 billion from the United States to fire in aid as long as they fired a prosecutor that was going after Joseph Biden's son, Hunter. Okay? Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you. I'm just telling you. I get it. I get it. This fucking war makes more sense to me than the invasion of Iraq. That's all I'm saying. All right. And if no one can understand it, then I don't know what to tell you. Do some research. Find out what was happening 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago in Ukraine. Nobody knows. Well, I mean, they do. They just don't want to. They just don't want to know because again, Putin bad. Again, I'm no fan of Putin. I'm no fan of the Russians. I'm no fan of whatever. I get it. Okay, but to conveniently leave that out is a scumbag thing to do. I don't think it's right. Mm. Hey, Sarah, how are you? The global black backlash in effect half the yeah. Well, listen, again, um, the Soviets were also funding a lot of countries. They basically colonized a lot of Africa, some of Central America, South America. And when the Soviets disappeared, they stopped giving aid there, like to Cuba. What happened to those countries? They couldn't support themselves. They all went bankrupt. And this is my point. You got a shithole country, right? You give them money, they become great. They become educated. They become whatever. You take that away from them, they go back to what they were. They're garbage. Garbage people. And in Europe, after World War II, we created a lot of lazy countries. A lot of lazy countries. When they all again, it was one big pyramid scheme over there. One big humongous pyramid scheme in fucking Europe. In fact, when they all switched over to the euro, they had to do a fucking audit. And what happened? Turns out these countries didn't have as much money as they said they did. Did you know that? Greece was one of the worst. Greece had been lying for fucking for like 80 years about how much money they had, how great their economy was. Because they were getting pumped aid. So you know what happened? Germany was like, "Hey, you know what? We want Europe to be great." And this is all going to sound familiar. All right. This wasn't 1930, 1932, right? This is again, this was probably 2000 what, 2008, 2000 or 2005 or 2004 or whatever the fuck it was. We want Europe to be great. So we're going to flip the bill. We're going to hold everybody's debt. Germany said that. And we're going to make this whole euro thing happen. We want a unified Europe. Dude, let me tell you something. You want people out there that say that the United States is so bad, it's whatever. There is a fucking war in Europe every 10 to 20 years, and there's a genocide in Europe every once in a while. I don't know the last time there was ever a genocide in the United States, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it. It happens in Europe all the time. All the time. 2 world fucking wars. And people want to say Europe is so great. Europe is the best. Oh my God, travel to Europe. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. You can stay in Europe. Enjoy. Enjoy your wars and genocides, Europeans. Enjoy. Hold on, let me go get my. Huh? Hello. Hello. Don Casanova, did you just really say that? That there hasn't been a war in Europe since 1945? Did you really just say that, Don Casanova? The 90s was riddled with genocide and war in Europe. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There hasn't been a war since 1945. There was full on invasions of countries in the 90s. People were murdered and executed not because of who they were, but not because of what they did, but because of who they were. What are you talking about? Sarajevo, Bosnia. What are you talking about? This guy, Dimitri. This guy's retarded. This guy's retarded. Don Casanova. Come on. Come on. And growing up, I don't know if you remember the whole IRA bullshit. I don't know if you remember that. That was pretty fucking brutal. I've seen tons of shit happen in Europe. Tons. And even after World War II, there were more people killed in Europe than during World War II, after World War II. The mass genocide that happened after that with the Soviets. What are you talking about? Well, I don't. When was the last Civil War here? Don Casanova. And to be honest with you, that Russia did invade Georgia. Okay, in the early 2000s. And there's been tons of, my point is that there's been tons of European countries that have been involved in wars without the help of the United States. And for instance, again, the British fucking, Argentina. That was when I was a kid. Steve, what's up? The Falkland Islands are in the Falkland Ocean. Okay, so then my question is when again, Europe, there's tons of civil wars, there's tons of genocides. When was the last one in the United States? Listen, again, I don't disrespect you one bit. I just disrespect the lies that you're trying to tell here, Don Casanova. I really believe that Don Casanova is a provocateur. Don Casanova, you are 100% a provocateur. Well, okay, fine. Don Casanova, there's never been an invasion here. When was the last invasion here, Don Casanova? Europe is riddled with invasions, genocides, civil wars. The United States, that don't happen here, scumbag. It's just fact. Because we're the greatest country in the world. With the greatest people in the world. We have everyone from all over the world. The best of the best, the worst of the worst. And guess what? We keep it together. I don't know how. Last time I looked, the United States didn't produce Hitler or Stalin. So again, why would I ever want to go to Europe? Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How
How are you?
Good, thanks, sir. Cold again, huh?
It's too cold. Too cold. Yeah, right. All right, thank you. Ugh. Again, millions and millions of people were executed in Europe, not because of what they did, but because either there wasn't enough food to fucking feed them during the Soviet invasion of all these countries. Okay. Czechoslovakia being one of the worst. The Russians played some fucking Genghis Khan bullshit on them. What the Soviets did in Czechoslovakia, they surrounded all the farmlands. Right? They took away the farms. They killed all the farmers. They took their land. Then they went into the city and they counted everybody. And they said, "You got 5 million people here, whatever. Well, get rid of half of them. Get rid of half of them." I don't know if you've ever heard of a gulag. Have you ever heard of a gulag, Mr. Whatever your name is, Casanova? Yeah, they stayed that. Rick, because that was the cheapest thing. At one point, I saw this on Joe Rogan's, but at one point there were posters being put up reminding people that it was wrong to eat their children. Think about that. The Soviets had to remind people that it was wrong to eat their kids. That's crazy. Well, again, I'm going to say this again. People that go on vacation, they go to these places, they go to these these destination resorts, or maybe they go to a city that's, friendly to tourists. Yeah, of course you're going to have a good time. They want you to have a good time. That doesn't mean the country is great. You went there with your American cash, and it took you to heights that you'd never been to before. Again, Dimitri, that is absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, are there bad people in the justice system? Yeah, absolutely. We have laws to make sure that shit doesn't happen. And when it does happen, we go after these people. All right, listen, guys, I got to go. I'll see you later, all right? All right, bye.